Continuing on in my recent playthrough of the Silent Hill series, we arrive at Silent Hill 3. Silent Hill 3 is a survival horror video game that was developed by Team Silent and published by Konami, originally released on the PlayStation 2 in North America on August 5th of 2003, and on the PC on April 6th of 2004. For the purpose of this review, I played through and will be focusing on the PC version. In Silent Hill 3, you take on the role of lead female protagonist Heather, who awakens in the Silent Hill Lakeside amusement park. After getting crushed by a roller coaster, Heather then wakes up in a restaurant inside of a shopping mall and the real nightmare begins. Before being able to leave the shopping mall to head home to her father, Heather is confronted by a private eye named Douglas, who claims to have information on her birth. It's at this point that the game truly starts, and I'll let the twisty windy turns of Silent Hill 3 take you away from there. One thing that you may notice relatively early on in Silent Hill 3 is that this game is perhaps the most linear of the Silent Hill games up until this point. In Silent Hill and Silent Hill 2, you're left to wander on your own, especially early on, much more than you are in Silent Hill 3, and for a gamer that prefers linear gaming, like myself, I actually love this about Silent Hill 3. Another improvement was I found that the overall lack of misdirection and locked block doors seemed to be minimized from that of its predecessors. Don't get me wrong, they're still there, but I feel like they toned it down and it's much appreciated on my end. Silent Hill 3 also arguably has the smoothest combat of the series until this point and is overall incredibly refined. Silent Hill 3 boasts a variety of areas for you to traverse in both the waking world and the other world. A shopping mall, a subway station, my least favorite area, patented sewers, a construction area, a hospital, the aforementioned amusement park, and more. You also make a brief appearance or two outside on the streets of Silent Hill, but it is much less focused on the outdoors than it is in the original two games in this series. Silent Hill 3 has a very similar soundtrack to that of the first few games. There's a few catchy indie rock tracks coupled with moody vibe music and heavy bouts of ambient dread. Silent Hill 3's graphics are fairly similar to that of Silent Hill 2, except that I feel that Silent Hill 3 was able to really nail the otherworld and creepy aspects of the enemies and environments super well. It's legitimately the most aesthetically terrifying of the series to this point. Difficulty-wise, this game is leaps and bounds above the first two Silent Hill games. Even on the normal difficulty, I found myself lacking ammunition and consumables towards the end of the game, and man oh man did the final boss cause me some trouble. That's a good thing though. If you watch my Silent Hill 2 review or my playthrough, you know that the game difficulty is essentially baby mode in that entry. The puzzles seem to be somewhat standard, many I was able to figure out on my own early on, while the rest were a quick consultation to the Google as I am a gigantic moron. The controls are what they are. Overall, the game is very fluid, and I never really had issues with them other than my keyboard mapping. Having now played the first three Silent Hill games, I could say that Silent Hill 3 is my favorite so far. My main gripes with the game are that it doesn't really add much extra on top of 2. The game sort of just kind of feels like an extension of 2. I mean, obviously the story is completely different, but the game itself didn't really innovate. It's kind of something that you could experience on your own while you're playing. Another gripe that I have with Silent Hill 3 are oftentimes there are poor enemy placements which inhibit your ability to run away, thus not being able to conserve ammo or consumable health items, in a game that you could sometimes have your well run dry in that aspect. But my gripes with this particular entry aren't overpowering. As such, I give Silent Hill 3 a 9 out of 10. This is my favorite of the series up until this point. I enjoyed the story, the twists, and I found it refreshing to play as Heather, who as of now is definitely my favorite lead character in the series. I am eagerly anticipating playing Silent Hill 4 The Room as it was just released on GOG for the PC. Until next time.